Yeah.
Okay. What we're going to do now is we are going to make our first digital story. This is a road product, one with the pictures. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure that you have all your pictures together. So you can save those on your email or whatever, and then we end up putting them in a folder, and then we want them to end up in iPhoto. So I dragged them all in. There's 31, which means I'm probably going to do some picking and choosing between what I have in here. But that's where we need them to be. So we can close iPhoto. And if you want to do any editing of your pictures before you put them in your video, you can do that in iPhoto. Okay, so now that you have your photos in iPhoto, you're now going to be able to open iMovie, and we're going to start building our project. So open iMovie, and this is the first screen that you're going to come to. And what we're going to want to do is File, New Project. And you're just going to go with No Theme. And you can name your project up here. And Create. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to come over here to these little icons here, and you're going to click on the little camera because that's going to be where all of your photos are. And all that you need to do is then go through and find your photos, select the photo that you're looking for, drag it up here, and let go. And so then you'll continue doing that to add all of your photos in the order that you have them listed in your storyboard. Once you've done that, your page will look something like this, with all of your photos added. So what you can do at this point, and this is going to tell us that our total time right now is about 1 minute and 56 seconds. That is just about the length that we're looking for, and I already know that there's a few photos that I'm missing, so I'm going to be adding those to it. So we'll end up with a film at this point that's about 2 minutes long. So now what we're going to want to do is to go through and look at some of our photos, and we might want to make some changes. Like this one right here, I'm not really sure how I feel about the way that they've chosen to zoom this for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on the little pinwheel and go down to Cropping, Ken Burns, and Rotation. So the Ken Burns effect is that effect that you get when a photo, you're zooming into it. And you're often zooming kind of slow, but you can change what that is. So here's where you're going to place the beginning and end points for your Ken Burns effect. And so the red box is our end effect right here. And say, I don't want it to go up quite that high. And so you just wait for the little hand. And I think that I just want it to end like right here. And I want it to start down here. And so, since this one is smaller and this one is bigger, it means that in the beginning, we're going to be more zoomed in, and by the end, it's going to be more zoomed out. So let's click Done, and we'll see what that looks like. So all you need to do to ever see what your project is looking at any point is you can just hit the space bar, and we can watch that effect. Or you can always start over here and click Play Project in Full Screen. And then you're going to start from the very beginning. So there's that Ken Burns effect as it's working and going through the pictures. Okay, so maybe I'll still want to play around with some of these pictures as I go. And you can continue doing that at any point. And to rotate a picture, all you have to do is turn it like that. And let's see here what we can do in terms of what we want this one to look like. And generally speaking, the closer that your rectangles are, the slower that the Ken Burns effect is going to be when it happens. So for example, if we're going to start it way down like this, let's watch and see what this one looks like. That's going pretty quickly. So let's change it around and say I want it to start down here and end kind of right here. Let's see what that looks like now. And we're going to click Done. So it's a little bit slower as it goes. So you'll go through and fix all of your clips so that they look exactly the way that you want them to. And if you want something to actually just fit to the screen, you can just do that. and just say fit, and then you'll be done. And so we'll continue through, and I'm looking and seeing, and I know that this one needs to be turned. Okay, so now that I have most of my pictures in the beginning, at least that are the way that I want them to be, I'm going to add the transitions that go between the pictures. So you're going to go over here, and this is the transition browser. Now, there's lots of different options to choose from, and it's probably going to be your inclination to want to use as many as possible because they're so cool. What you need to do is you just need to choose one or two types and stick with that for the duration of your project. You can use different types in different projects. Maybe this will just encourage you to make new projects. But don't use too many, or else that signal to noise ratio is just going to be kind of awkward. Here, I'll show you an example. So say we put the cross dissolve, the page curl, the ripple, the fade, and let's choose one other one. How about the mosaic? That's completely different. So say we're going to watch our film from the beginning now. And that was a pretty nice transition. Okay, I didn't really think much of it. Oh, different page curl. I noticed that it's something different. And that was a bubble effect. And that one just faded. And now I've got the mosaic. So in a sense, we're sort of losing the flow of the piece because the transitions aren't as invisible as they were. They're not something that we just naturally we just watch the piece. Instead, we're noticing the transitions. And we don't really want that to happen. We want people to be able to focus on your story, not on your transitions. If you want to write a story about transitions, you can do that another day. So why don't we just choose one and we go with that. I'm going to say that I just want to cross-dissolve my pictures. So you just pull your cross-dissolve effect up here. In between all of your pictures. And you can see that this isn't adding any time to our piece, which is a good thing. So now what you have is you're ready to start being able to record your voiceover. And so to start recording your voiceover right here on this little microphone, it says record a voiceover. And so just to make sure that the microphone is working properly, just watch for these green little lights to come up. If it starts getting red, it means that your volume is too loud, and so you're going to want to either lower the input volume or just figure out where you are and where you're recording this, and maybe you need to change it there. And so it might be best in the computer lab to get the headset that has a little recorder in it, or see if you can work with somebody so that you can either have everybody in the computer lab be silent, or someone can be in there with you by yourself so that you can record your story.